women in business. We are celebrating women in business all of this week. And celebrating, coming into the studio, we've got Sian from OLS Solicitors. Morning, Sian.
Hi, good morning. You okay?
Yeah, we're good, thank you. And it's wonderful to welcome you back again. We love a little catch up with you.
I know, it's lovely to be back. I feel like I've never left.
Exactly.
Becoming a bit of the furniture.
You are. We'll talk about that as well, not just here on the breakfast show or the daytime show. You've got a little hat trick under your belt, which we'll cover a little bit later on. But it's Women in Business Week. My first question is, what does that mean to you, Sian?
I think to me it means I'm someone that I've really been blessed. I've always been surrounded by incredible women and people who've always made me feel like there's space for me, no matter where that is, whether that's within my job, within my hobbies, within my education. I've never been made to feel, because I am a woman, that I can't do something. And I really attribute that to the women in my life who've never not let me use being a woman as an excuse. They've let me use it as a tool, as something, a bit of a fuel to the fire, if that makes sense.
That's great. And well, you've pursued a career. You're the trainee solicitor with OLS Solicitors. Traditionally, I'm talking probably 20, 30 years ago, it was a very male-dominated environment. And yet you're in a practice which is led by women. You're a woman in the practice too. What does that feel like, being able to have being part of an institution that was once upon a time something that you would have been very much the outsider in?
Oh, 100%. I feel really, really lucky to work with an incredible team of women. And the thing is, they're not just women, they're mothers, their daughters, their friends, their wives. They are honestly really inspirational to me. And to be part of that and to know that I'm supported and understood from a different standpoint of these women who can take such a different breadth to the legal field. They're bringing in something and a different sort of look into the legal profession. You learn that it's not all about the textbooks legislation, which obviously is very important. We need to be very much on those train tracks. But it's also about empathy, because you're dealing with people at the end of the day, and perspective. It's not just, oh, this contract. There's two people at the other side of that contract, whether that's a marriage contract or an employment contract or a business contract, when you've got those women in business.
Yeah. Gina?
Yeah, no, I'm just intrigued by listening to it all, and to find yourself. What got you into law? Where was that spark come from? How did you think, that's what I want to be?
Well, I would love to give an incredibly honest, motivating answer that it just came upon me one day, and it's the passion that I had. For a really long time, I wanted to be a physio, but turns out I'm terrible at biology. So much so, my biology A-level teacher was like, "Are you sure this is for you?" And I was like, "Do you know what? I think that's a bit of a hint. I'll take the hint, and I think maybe I should go down a different route." And for me, it was something about, I liked the challenge, and I don't know what that says about my personality or anything like that. But it was that it's always ever changing, the law. You've got to keep up to date with it. You've got to be looking at articles, looking at new legislation, looking at new case law. And I'm a nerd and find all that incredibly fascinating and really interesting to look at. And I think that's what pushed me down it, is I wanted something that would challenge me within myself, within what I'm capable of, and making myself feel like I can do more than I think I can do. And the law did that for me. It pushed me out my comfort zone. And that's exactly right. I was like, right, let's give this a bash.
Yeah. And talking about challenges then, what is the biggest challenge which you have faced so far, and how have you overcome it?
I think it's actually being afraid to take up space. I think as a woman, you're always sort of made to feel slightly like, oh, I don't want to cause a scene. I don't want to be loud. I don't want to be seen as awkward or difficult. When you're not, you should be inquisitive as a person. You should be curious. You shouldn't be afraid to ask questions. And I'm so lucky. So my supervisor at the moment, one of the biggest things she ever said to me, and it sticks with me to this day, is there are no stupid questions. And to me, that was like I could just take a sigh, because I was so worried about asking something that someone thought I should already know. But it made me feel like it's okay to ask, and it's okay to be curious. Even that's something as small as, do you think I should sign my email with kind regards or all the best? It's the little things, but it makes the biggest difference, because you don't feel afraid to ask, and that's how you grow, and that's how you get better in any space.
Yeah, and it's those little things, it's those questions and those answers that you get from more experienced people that they can give you. Well, actually, if it's this kind of relationship, then that might be better because it might push the label forward to actually, that's actually quite a bad news email. Just consider signing off relatively neutral. They're actually really important questions. Even those small little things of, how do I sign my email? Oh,
yeah, no, 100%. Perhaps it's not really good to put "Hiya, babes" at the top of your first email to a new client. Perhaps you just start with "Good morning, sir, madam, Mr. Whatever the sort of little thing you want to put at the start is about building those client relationships. And then perhaps later on you can say "Hello, hi," but you've got to ask those questions to say, I don't like putting Miss S. Jones at the end of my email because it makes me feel a bit like there's a wall between us. I like to put Sian Jones. Just call me Sian. It's not a problem.
Yeah, I'm Sian. And conversely then, the challenges, and there's no stupid questions, which is universal, by the way. If you've got a question that you want answered, ask the question because someone's going to give you the answer. What's been your proudest moment?
Oh, goodness. My proudest moment. I think it was, so within OLS, we have a thing called Solicitors Review, and it's so people review us and put it all online. And it sounds really silly, but I think it was getting my first review on there. And it was for a lady that I did a matter for. And I was so nervous about it because it was my first one with OLS and I really wanted to do a good job. And she said, "You've got such a bright future." And I didn't pay her to say that. She did that off her own back. And I thought, oh my God, I got this. Because I was so nervous about it. I thought, oh, it's all gone wrong. I've done this wrong. I've done that wrong. But she was so happy. And I was like, I did that for someone and it went okay. It didn't, nothing went crazy. Nothing went awful. And she was happy. And that's what meant more to me. And I learned so much through that process. And I thought, yeah, not getting my master's, not doing all of these crazy big things. It was just one little person. I'd done something for that one person and they were happy. And I thought, oh,
that's great, isn't it?
That's good.
Because the validation's one thing, but in order to get that validation, you need to jump through the hoops. You need to have done that case. You need to have been personable, relatable, known your stuff. It's that one little phrase was actually the culmination of all of the effort that went before it.
Exactly. She could have used any words, but it's the way she said, "You've got a bright future." Because I think as women, we often doubt ourselves, whether that's within our career paths, our education, even sometimes with our friendship. You just feel like you're not doing good enough and you're pushing that boulder up the hill and you feel like the hill, you're never getting to the top, but you are. And it's those little, she may not have even thought 30 seconds about that review she wrote. She probably went, blah, 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 send. But to me, I've even printed it off and pinned it on my wall. I am that sad. Just in case I'm having a bit of a wobble on a day, I can look up at it and go, "You got this. It's okay."
Which is bright. I love that. Gina.
Yeah, no, and it's just those, you think they're little things, but they can have a big, big impact. And talking about big impact, during your journey so far, who has been your role model and mentor during your business journey?
So I've been so blessed to have some amazing women in my life that mentor me. For example, my supervisor at the moment, I'm a bit nervous. She might be listening now, but I think she's going to be all blushing and embarrassed when I say this, but she is just incredible. And if I'm half the solicitor she is, I'll be doing okay. She is just inspirational to me on so many levels. But the real person who's built my foundation of what I believe in and what I'm capable of and what I want to push out to the world is my mum. I am the luckiest girl alive to be able to call that woman my mother. She is a force to be reckoned with, but she just showed me that being a woman, it doesn't matter. For example, when I was 8, my brother joined a football team and I was not going to let him do something that I couldn't do. So she let me go and join an all boys football team and I had my brother's old boots on that were probably 2 sizes too big. And I was the one that got red carded every game, kicking people in the shins.
Oh, wow.
But she never said to me, "Oh, Sian, you're a girl, you can't do that." She just said, "Go for it, girl. Do it. Why not? Because you'll learn from it."
Well, exactly. Yeah.
I lasted about a season, gave the kit back and thought, no horses are for me. But
ticked that off.
Exactly. She never, ever let me use being a woman as any reason to not do something.
That's so cool. And also a little bit of your competitive edge coming out there.
Oh, has it been spotted? Has it been unveiled?
A little bit. You mentioned that, well, I mentioned that you got the hat trick. This is your second visit on the breakfast show. You've been on the daytime show. You also made it onto the Pure West Sports Show with Eaton Evans and OLS Solicitors a couple of weeks ago.
Did I?
Yeah.
That
did happen. What happened, Sian?
Oh, so it was an amazing day. I ran the Dale Half Marathon and this man came up to me and he was like, you do realise you've won? And I was like, oh, great, being first female back, that's fab. He's like, no, you've won the whole thing out of the men and the women. And I think the look on my face, because I was running the last 500 meters, all I was thinking in my head was, I get a medal and a Welsh cake at the end of this. This is fantastic.
Everyone's a winner.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And because I ran the whole thing on my own, because I didn't realize I'd led from about 2K, I assumed there was a group in front of me. That's why I was alone. So I'm there in my little Sharn world, looking out over the beautiful Dale views, which if no one's run around Dale, do it.
It's beautiful.
Stunning.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous. And yeah, it was a lovely surprise. And I thought, oh my God, this girl with the little pink bow in her hair is just beating all the men by about 2 minutes.
I love that.
It was a very humbling experience. I was so shocked, but it was just, that is one of those moments where you shouldn't let, why did I think to myself, oh, because I'm a woman, I've come first out the women.
I'm the first woman, yeah.
Well, I shouldn't have thought that shouldn't have been my first
just won it,
instinct.
yeah.
My first instinct should have been, just won it, girl.
Yeah.
Not you just won it out of the women. You've won it out of everyone, which is just amazing.
So cool. You can listen back to that on the catch up, purewestradio.com. I know that Gina's got a question about something that you were having to decide last time you were here.
Oh, yes. Which dress did you go for at the wedding? Was it the yellow one?
It was. I went for the butter yellow and I went for the red nails, which I've also got on today. These are becoming a bit of a staple.
Love it.
But 2 more of my friends have gotten engaged now, which means my poor wardrobe, I'm going to have to get on Vinted or something. My bank account is not looking very healthy. So I think reduce, reuse, recycle, all of those good things, isn't it?
Perfect.
Right then, Sian, another question for you then. What is the colour that's in now then? What's the next colour you're
What
going
are
to
we
go
going
for?
into? We're going into autumn. I quite like a burgundy.
Nice.
Or a chocolate brown. I think those colours really bring it into autumn. I wear a lot of it in the office, I can't lie. I think I'm a bit known for my colour palette that tends to be on rotation.
Love that. Thank you so much for joining us. You mentioned the horses, you mentioned the running there. It's important to find your hobbies as well as pursuing the career. Is that fair to say that it's about balance as well?
Oh, definitely. I think so. I often go for a run before I go into the office because to me it sets me up for the day. It gives me that mindset. But for me, I always take whatever I've learned through the horses or running into my work. And it is those things of dedication. It is showing up every day, even when you don't want to, even when you look outside at 5 a.m, it's dark, it's cold, it's rainy, you don't want to go for that run. I've never been on a run that I've regretted and didn't feel better afterwards. And I go into the office, I'm ready to take on the day. And it just sets me up. And I think you can learn so many little things. And even if your hobbies maybe aren't sporty, maybe you're someone that likes crafting or dancing or something like that. If you start a craft project, you want to finish it. No matter what that little crochet cross stitch is taking you 10, 12 hours or whatever people do it in. You take those skills and you apply them into your job. And that's what I try and do every day with OLS. And that's what I would love to tell any little girl is whatever you take in life, take it as a lesson, learn something from it. Even if you go to say, I don't know, Irish dancing and you've got 2 left feet, you have learned this isn't for me. And that's a great thing to learn within yourself is just taking lessons from every little nook and cranny that you can.
Amazing. And I suppose that very closely links into our last question here today is what would your advice be to any other young girl, other woman, regardless of their age? What's your advice to them if they want to pursue a career in business?
So anyone that's going into business, and this is something that links us back to OLS, it sounds silly, but get your legal advice before something goes wrong. Don't go to a solicitor once the problem has occurred or something's happened. If you can get that legal advice, and with OLS, you can contact us. We've got Facebook, social media. You can contact us on our website, our telephone number. We've even got a chat bot online if you just want to add something quickly in there. If you can get that legal advice before the problem goes wrong, you're then avoiding all of those issues that could arise. You're mitigating any sort of problem or risk. You're avoiding things before they even come to fruition, which is such a better idea for any woman in business, making sure you've got those contracts, you've got that employment, you've sought that legal advice before you even start embarking on this huge journey that's going to be so exciting for women, and they should always go for it. And don't let being a woman be a negative. It's a positive. It's such an incredible thing to be a woman in 2025 and to show people that it's an attribute to you.
I love that. Have a bit of foresight, nip it in the bud,
Exactly.
and stop it from even budding is the advice. If you want to find out more about OLS Solicitors and what you do, where can they find you?
So you can find us online, simply Google OLS Solicitors Limited. You'll find our website. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, like I say, or you can phone our offices. We've got one in Llanelli. Pop us a call. You might even come straight through to me. We love a chat and to see if we can help you in any aspect that we can.
Sian, it's been amazing catching up with you again, talking about Women in Business Week. And I know that there's answers on our website from one of your colleagues as well, one of the leaders there at OLS. So you can find that on our website. Gina's got the hardest question of the morning, though.
Well, yes. What song, Sian, would you like us to play for you this morning? We always put Sian on the hot spot for this one.
You do? I've not even been preempted. What did I listen to on the radio on the way in? Oh God, I think I'm really exposing a side of me that no one knows now. I'm a little bit of a Swiftie.
Oh, yeah?
I know,
Yes.
I know, sinful. But could we have Fate of Ophelia? I think that's what the new one's called.
That is what the new one's called.
Sian, I will let you into a little secret as well. Well, it's not that much of a secret, actually. Our very own Tom, he's a Swiftie too.
Am I in good company?
You're
Have we just become best friends?
We are best friends. Would you believe it? We already had Elizabeth Taylor in the log ready to go, but I've swapped that out for the Fate of Ophelia. That's coming up next for you to listen to on your drive back. Thank you so much for joining us on this wonderful week. And I love the fact that it's Women in Business Week, and you're saying it doesn't matter. Embrace it, be who you are, and to be unapologetic about it. Use your strengths and your attributes and go for it.
Precisely. I'm not saying that women are better and we should be this and that. All I want is equality. I want everyone to be seen as equal, and I think that's such a beautiful thing. Never let being a woman stop you from doing absolutely anything. Go
Sian,
get it, girl.
Sian from OLS Listeners, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We are Pure West Radio. Ethan Evans